Hey gang, so today I'm looking at something from Big White EDC. It is the Sugar Cube in titanium. This is $69 and you can get it at Big White EDC. And if you use the code TheFidgetFix, you get 10% off. You may remember I've actually reviewed a Sugar Cube before, but I reviewed it in Bakelite. This is titanium. And when I was using the Bakelite, I always thought, man, what would this feel like in metal? Here's the answer. Let's get on the camera and have a look. It is the Sugar Cube in titanium. Let's go. Okay, so here we go with the Sugar Cube in titanium. Now, a while back, you may or may not remember or even know that I reviewed the same Fidget, but in Bakelite. And in fact, at the time, I had incorrectly said that this was a relatively new material. It is not. As it was pointed out, this is actually quite an old material. Bakelite was used to make phones, all kinds of stuff, even back to like the 70s or 60s, I'm guessing, or even earlier. I don't know. I'm not an historian. But all that to say, I was wrong. Bakelite has been around for quite a while. Now, I did like this, and I was surprised because I don't really like, the plastics when it comes to these kind of sliders, if there's an option in metal. So I always opt for the metal, but at the time this was sent to me, so obviously, I'm not gonna say, hey, take it back. So no, I reviewed this, I liked it, but I was always curious to know what a metal version would look like, and then Big White sent over the titanium version, and I love this. This is perfect for the weight. This is exactly what I wanted this to be, which is heavier, a stronger presence in my hand. The sound is better. Just everything about it is better. I really, really like this. This is awesome. If you like the Sugar Cube at all, find the titanium because this thing is absolutely worth it. Now, we'll open it up just because if you haven't seen the Bakelite review, then you don't know what is driving this thing. So we're gonna open it up. We've got screw here, screw here. Now, again, anytime we go to open up something, the first thing we do is we try to find out which way the balls and springs are facing, if there are balls and springs, so that we know how to prevent it from going flying. So flipping this over, you can see the track is here, which tells me that the ball is pushing up this way and that there's going to be a spring underneath the ball. So I know that when I loosen this, right, we're going to take this off. Now, these are kind of tricky, but again, it's important to know how all this works. So this, again, the ball's kind of pointing up, but these screws are locking the track in. So we have to take the track off, which will then allow us to slide the top off. So let's get started on this. Okay. There's 1 and 2. Now, again, where's the ball? Here. So this is an interesting one, and I'll say why. So typically, the ball and spring are the cause of concern because you would kind of reveal it by sliding the plate off. You know, if I slid this plate out of the way, that would expose the ball and the ball would kind of push out. In this case, though, the track is what's holding everything together. So if the track is here and I take the screw out, that means that the other side is actually going to come off. So that means the ball is going to be first. So we'll have ball, spring, and track. So I will just lift this up. And you can see here, 2 springs. So the springs are pushing the balls down. And let's see, let's take these springs out for a second. And what do we have? Glass. So we have these 2 little glass beads in the first 2 holes. Now you can modify this if you want. I kind of like leaving it at the factory settings, like its default settings, because it does feel good. I don't really feel the need to change it up. So we're just going to put this back in, but you could change it. You could put it into the middle one if you want. It'll just change the sound up a bit. You could take one out, so it's got a faster slide to it. That's another option. I like the way it's set though. To me, this works really well. And then as you break in the springs, they will eventually get a little softer, I guess, with all that pressure constantly on them. So in time, it won't have such a hard click if you want to change it that way. Okay, and then we have these two little, our two little kind of, what we call these pins. And the two pins keep this on the track. Now, you'll notice that these pins are set to a certain distance. So with a pin in the middle, that means when this slides, it stops here, right? The pin gets stopped on this track. And on this side, when you slide, it's a short stop. So long, short. Now, could we switch that up so that we have a long and a long? I mean, possibly, although, no. So this is, I see. Okay, so what you would do is, so you want to use the end one because this ball is very close to the end. So you kind of need that stopper to prevent this ball from popping out. But if you only used one ball, then you don't need that anymore. So you know what? Let's try. Let's try with just the one ball and let's test my theory. So I'm going to get this one, come on out. Sure, so now it's stuck in there perfectly. So you know what? Let's just do this. Get the one out. All right, so we got one ball out. We're gonna go with one ball, one spring in the middle. Let's see how that works. So now we have a longer draw on both sides. And let me get our screws back in there. So with one ball, it's a little looser, a little faster maybe. Although I will say, I still do prefer the two. So let's go back and put the two in there. But it does, just to show you though, you can modify to change kind of the travel distance of these. All right, so let's go back. Let's get it back to two because I just kind of prefer that. And put it down. It's lifted very gently. Now, that's interesting. Sometimes it just kind of, everything gets stuck a little bit. No real reason. All right, so let's get our pin back into place. So again, remember, you could modify this if you want. You could even use the middle one. There's a whole bunch of different setups you can do. I'm not going to go through every one of these because I don't think you want to watch me just sit here and unscrew and screw this together 5 different times to go, oh, that's a little better. That's a little clickier. That's a little zippier. It's up to you, man. Do this and explore. That was such a weird way to say that. Okay, so now I'm just going to put it back to the default, or at least the way it ships. There we go. And I think the double glass ball just has a much nicer sound. The zipper sound that this kind of generates is crispier, which I really like. Yeah, that's better. And there is something to be said for the longer travel distance. So your thumb can only go back so far until it becomes uncomfortable. So having a short travel here actually makes sense. It's this gets awkward and uncomfortable if you're pushing it down further. Having this small step works well, and then you can push it up. So again, oh yeah, now that I feel the Bakelite version, man, I don't like it anywhere near as much as I like the titanium. This is just smooth, it's nice. So if this was something that you liked, then definitely if you have the money, check out the titanium version because I find this a huge upgrade. Well, let's go this way. Okay, gang, that is the Sugar Cube in titanium at Big White EDC, and if you use the code TheFidgetFix, you get 10% off. Thanks for watching.